Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Invest. Our next guest is an entrepreneur, branding expert, and one of television's most recognizable investors. Before becoming a household name on ABC's Shark Tank, Daymond John built and scaled his iconic fashion brand FUBU, short for Us, By Us. Today, as CEO of the Shark Group, he works with companies from startups to Fortune 500s to sharpen their brand and drive growth. Daymond, great to have you with us here at Invest. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, most people know you as one of the original Sharks, but I want to start with what got you here. You built FUBU at home in Queens. You were sewing hats, selling them on the side while working at Red Lobster. How did that environment shape your mindset and this power of broke philosophy that you've now become known for?
Oh, I mean, it shaped it in all kind of ways. Analytics is what people told me immediately when I sold it to them. I had to find ways to upsell a customer or make them buy more frequently, but I didn't have the internet or I didn't have cell phones, so I had to physically find them. I had to find ways to that it added value to them, every single day. So it's the same as the fundamentals of business today. It's just that you can do it online and you know, a billion other people can do it at the same time.
Well, you bring up an interesting point. Do you think it's harder or easier to start a business today? Because on the one hand, you do have access to all of those tools, but on the other, there's a lot of competition. And it seems like people are a lot more fragmented in this age of social media. And then you throw AI in there and everything just seems to be different these days.
I do think it's easier because you can open up your phone right now and go to any Main Street store, internal, whatnot, or TikTok shops, and they have the inventory. You move the inventory for them immediately. You don't have to buy it, and they can ship it. And you can already have 2,000 people you're already talking to every day, just showing pictures of your tuna fish sandwich. So I think that's the easiest thing to do. It's just how do you scale these type of businesses? But overall, it's easier. And at the end of the day, it's just about speed, and speed kills in business. You can't wait for the perfect time. You have to make the perfect effort right now.
Speed and also community, right? I feel like FUBU, it was this movement. It wasn't just a fashion brand for us, by us. You were really cultivating this community aspect. What did that teach you about the power of branding, culture, marketing, and how they all work together to create a brand?
Well, community is everything. You don't have anything if you don't have community. And that's what we do every single day, whether it's for our entrepreneurs or my Fortune 1000 CEOs. We turn this idea of hustle into strategy and strategy into community and community into results. FUBU, if you look at it, was the first kind of hashtag of clothing, but every business is technically a FUBU. Every business is mompreneurs making for other mompreneurs, or biohackers making for other biohackers, or people who want price sensitive products, or people who want luxury because less have it. It's always going to be community. But today, even more than ever before, it's no longer making them, they will come. Community is the new currency.
Yeah. And let's talk about the Shark Tank community, because you said you joined Shark Tank because you wanted to level the playing field for entrepreneurs that didn't have access to capital or those investor networks. Why was that so important to you? And how do you think the show has really changed how how Americans view entrepreneurship?
Because I thank you for that. And I think that, my job as the people shark on, there are so many people were told you need to make money to have money, or to make money, you need to have it. Right. And I think that that show really shows people that were just like everyday people living at home, chilling. They came up with an idea and they said, the two fundamentals of what entrepreneurs do. I'm either going to solve a problem or bring somebody joy. And if I bring somebody joy, I'm going to solve a problem. And the next year, after watching Shark Tank, they're doing 200, 400, $500,000. They have a small little staff and they're solving somebody's problem. And I think that that's why I wanted to go into the show, because we had this idea in the past. These walls were built that we can't accomplish what we want to. And I got to tell you, I got left back in school and I got raised by a single mother. I grew up in the hood with no money, no last name. If I can do it, everybody can do it. And if Kevin can do it, anybody can really do it.
Yes, absolutely. And let's talk about some of those pitches, right? We all love to watch the pitches. What makes a pitch stand out to you, and what are your non-negotiables when choosing who or what to invest in?
The things that make a pitch stand out to me is that somebody's telling you a story. They're not pitching you. They're telling you how the train's leaving the station with or without you. They want you on the train, but it's leaving the station. You get a little bit of FOMO. They also qualify themselves on why this problem existed and they were the one to solve it. And they also tell you how they've overcome a lot of adversity and now where the numbers are, and they've done it small. And with your help, they can do it big. The non-negotiables are the people that come in there and say, well, if I get 1% of a $50 billion market, I'll have X amount of dollars. Well, the bankruptcy market is way bigger than that. I promise you'll get 1% of that if you keep thinking like that. So if you don't know your numbers and you don't know your customers, all you're doing is using my money as tuition. But if you know all those things and you can show proof of concept, then I'm in.
Yeah, you always have to be prepared. And after 15 plus seasons, I'm sure there's a pitch that still sticks with you today. Is there a one that got away story or a company that maybe surprised you down the line?
Yes, and by the way, it's 17 years of me suffering next to Kevin. But the pitch that got away, normally I couldn't care less because whatever is coming through the door, something else coming tomorrow. But I got beat out by Lori. She's a very mean lady, and she beat me out for a stupid-looking little sponge
Scrub
called
Daddy.
the Scrub Daddy. Yeah, see, you know it already. And every time,
Yes.
it's not that she beat me out for that. Every time I walk in the store, there's a Scrub Daddy, there's a Scrub Mommy, the Scrub Baby, the Scrub Daughter. They're all smiling at me, and I think she's done about 1.4 billion in sales to date.
Wow, and you've been bringing up your fellow sharks. I'm curious what you learned from each other because you are all so successful in your respective businesses and you come to work every day and you all have different philosophies and ways of really curating who you invest in and the why of it all.
Barbara, when she does take her medicine, I learned that, she can brand anything from anywhere. She's the smartest branding person. She can create and bring the essence out of something. Robert has his curiosity like a little child, but he's a tech genius. Kevin knows how to manage his downside with complicated financial structures and manage his upside too. Lori is very, very good in creating products all the way from the beginning, from scrap, and knowing her packaging and how to bring it in. And Cuban, of course, has always been the wild cowboy who can foresee things, take a gamble, admit when he's wrong, but just go really hard as a partner. And I love and respect them all really dearly.
Also, I've spoken with Barbara Corcoran before. She is amazing. And like you said, she really knows her stuff. Now, when it comes to the investment areas that, you're invested across a lot of different sectors, and not just through Shark Tank, but also through the Shark Group as well. Is there any particular theme that you're watching right now and you want to put money to work in that area?
Well, there's two themes. And first of all, everybody has to understand AI, right? And so there's three themes. Understanding AI right now. The next one is and embracing AI as fast as it's moving. The next one is really understanding where the consumer is and how you grab their attention. Live selling is really where you can grab attention fairly quickly and build your own community. Another one is shoot. Now I'm going to get to four. Another one is biohacking is a section, and longevity. The people that feel like they've been lied to, and now they want to take their health into their own hands. And whether it is a mom who wants to make sure she doesn't have die number 5 or 7 in something, or somebody who wants to know about fasting, those would be the major ones. I'm trying to think about. There was one more, but I will probably get back to. Oh, social cause. That's the reason why my company, Bombas, is the number one company in all 54 Shark Tanks around the world, because every time that you buy a pair of socks or underwear, they give a pair away to the homeless because that is the number one requested clothing, item of clothing in the homeless shelters, and they're in the shelters.
And what you're speaking with, all these different themes, it really shows how much the business world continues to evolve, right? If you were starting FUBU today, is there anything you would change or do differently?
Oh, absolutely. I would break down the selling. I would no longer have to deal with retailers. I would, of course, do the same thing we did where I let people know who the CEO and who the founders of the company were, because people want to know not only what they're buying, who they're buying it from, but also I would break this out into 2 kids in every university and in every high school. One male, one female. We give them about $500 worth of credit, let them buy about $1,500 worth of FUBU and sell it themselves, kind of like the Avon model, and bring people up the ladder. This way, I would have, 100,000 salespeople out there who are giving me real data on why people are buying or not.
I love that. Utilizing those college kids, putting them to work. Another thing that small business owners are dealing with right now is tariffs and the rollout of tariffs. For the companies that you're invested in, how are these small businesses dealing with that? Are they raising prices? Are they changing up their sourcing? Are they cutting back in any way, especially at a time where we've seen this broad consumer pullback as well?
They're doing all of it. They're not really raising prices because they don't want to pass that on to the consumer, because the consumer may just not tolerate it. And the consumer does not understand at the end of the day, the consumer has other options. They are trying to find sourcing in various different areas, but they are cutting back on their staff and people. And with the fact that AI is coming around, they can actually do so in a way that's not going to actually make them, hurt them as much as it would have maybe 2, 3 years ago. But sourcing people and sourcing from factories and sourcing, finance and money is always going to be the three hardest challenges. And you should never, government's going to change, tariffs going to change, leaders going to come in and out, and various other things are going to happen. You can never put all your eggs in one basket. That's always been the rule when you deal with manufacturing.
And you were just talking about how cutting back on staff is one consequence of the current environment. And we've heard from a lot of folks out there that it's really difficult to find a job. We're in this low hire, low fire environment. Yet at the same time, we're seeing this uptick in layoffs. What would be your advice to someone that maybe is struggling or wants to take a side hustle and turn that into real tangible income?
Well, if you're struggling, understand that most jobs are going to go away. A lot of jobs are going to go away. The trade business is going to rise and going to be at an all-time rise. And invest in that education if you can. Also, you have to reduce costs and increase sales. How are you looking at your children? That's one of the issues. How are children today in high school and college? How are they taking $400,000 to $600,000 worth of student debt for a job that's not going to actually exist in another year or so? So sometimes you have to look at the entire thing as a family. What are you doing? Where are you putting the money? Are you looking at assets? Are you looking at long-term assets like bonds? Are you looking at crypto? Are you looking at, buying in Apple, buying in blue chip? Because, if you put your money in the bank, what are you going to get? Nothing. It's almost like cash is trash. So you have to look at all of these things. But if you're looking at a career, you need to start understanding, how do you gain attention? Even if you're a plumber, you need to make sure that everybody knows about your plumbing services. And then you go out and look at these baby boomers who are their kids do not want the business, how to buy more doors, more plumbing doors. So you have a larger kind of version of a roll up. You can just buy 2 or 3, small businesses like that and roll it up and have a massive amount of business at the end of the day.
You brought up crypto. Are you bullish on crypto?
I'm very bullish on crypto. BlackRock and Blackstone are bullish on crypto now. I'm really bullish on it. I've been in for a long period of time.
Awesome. And obviously there's a lot of volatility in crypto, and really there's a lot of volatility within the stock market as well. What's your approach on general investing at a time where we see, record highs, but you can have a week like we did recently where stocks just tank? Are you a long-term investor mindset to just park your cash and see what happens?
I'm a park your cash. I see that the big institutions have to put their money somewhere. There's only a couple of categories, obviously, and they're going to put it there. I made those mistakes when I was younger, thinking that I can kind of day trade or pull out quickly. I thought I was Gordon Gekko after doing some trades after 6 months, and I realized if I'd have kept that in there, it would have been 30x from what I had it at. So I'm long term. I'm like, I'm like Buffett. I go get some McDonald's in the morning, put it to sleep, and put my money to sleep, or put it to work technically, and not bother it.
All right, Daymond John says stay invested. And then final question for you, what is the number one mistake that you see entrepreneurs make?
Thinking they need money. I think entrepreneurs believe that they need cash to operate a business. No, you need proof of concept. You need customers. If cash was easy to get, then everybody would have it, and if cash solved every problem, then Blockbuster, BlackBerry, and Kodak would still be here. So it's really about, at the end of the day, over providing for your customer and being absolutely obsessed with your customer, not worrying about bringing in a lot of cash too early. Don't spread yourself too thin, and stay extremely focused on over delivering for your customer, because without your customer, you don't have a business.
All right, some great advice there. The Shark Group CEO, Daymond John, thank you so much for joining Invest. Jared, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Thank you.